All right. Oh, I think I'm going. Does this mean I'm going? I don't know. Ooh, we could see students back there, so I guess I'm gonna close this off. But we're doing a little game, right? And I'm gonna show you the parts, and as I'm talking to the students here, you gotta actually. Shoot, I screwed up. Dang it! Is it here? Yes. Okay. Shoot, I forgot how to pause this. Anyone remember how you pause a wee video? This is great. Anyone know how to do that? I know I had this before. It's not stop sharing, huh? Bottom left. Where? Where? Oh, over here. So I hit pause here and it stops. All right. Lovely video of someone trying to figure out technology again. Where'd it go now? What do I have to pull this? This has to be. Okay, got it. So we'll do like this as the safe haven here. All right. I could probably cut all this out at the beginning. This. Oh, shoot. I accidentally hit that open. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here's what we're doing first. Okay. So go to page 2. This is for me. All right. Looking at this, why is the domain and range all real numbers? The answer is because this is a picture of what does this become a picture of when I graph it? A 3, 2, 1, go. Nobody knows in this class? Seniors and juniors. It's a picture of a anyone? Line. It has a slope of -4/7 and a y-intercept of -16/7. All lines have domain and ranges of all real numbers except for a vertical line. So that's a little starter upper. All right, the person with the pen in their hand, find the inverse. Begin. The game is on. So you have to get it right, and the first one to get it right gets 3 points, second 2, third 1. Find the inverse. What do you already you didn't write anything in the book? Oh, okay. I didn't see any work. I don't know. Yeah, I would like work on that. All right, I'm gonna pause this. This is the parts where I have to pause. All right, so here we go. It's over. Top five are done. Here's the answer. Look up here. Who's got one in their hand? Raise your hand. Now I have to go around the room and check this. So there's the answer to this. Let me press pause again as I check the answers. This is hard. Okay. Okay. This taping isn't working out very well because it's taking too long. All right. But I did say third hour, quiet for a second. I did say that we could factor out a negative and have a negative on the bottom. And then to be 16 plus 7n over -4. You've got to be able to understand alternative forms of the same answer. That is a simplistic idea coming from what we learned in math 3 and math 2 and then actually this year dealing with fractions. All right, the next one, when I reveal it, it's what is the domain and range? Are you listening or are you yapping? Silence. Okay, what is the domain and range? Ready, set, go. Okay, so I'm not finding the inverse. I just want the domain and range of that. Do it. Throw your marker in the box. You will get a number. And then I'll try the pause again. I already got the numbers here. And then we're going. So the domain, this is what I cannot plug in. I can plug in -2. I can. There you go. Got an I can statement at Lockport. And I can't plug in -3, -4, -5. That creates I numbers. So what I can plug in is this. And then the output is when I input -2, I get -1 for Y. And then you have to understand the graph. The graph of this is half of a parabola. That point right there is -2, -1. And then when I input more, the range rises forever. So it's -1 to infinity. Okay, now I have to check the scoring. So trying this is probably going to be tough. Okay, ready, set, go. Find the inverse. Go, 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 go. Find the inverse. Immediately. Find the inverse. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, game on. We'll pause. Play here. I hit the wrong thing. The graphing calculator is going to come up. Hopefully, I got it. Too many buttons to press. All right, here we go. Okay, now we'll talk about the domain and range after this. First hour, I'd have them find it, but they get the drill here. What happens? Did this open? Yeah, I gotta close this now. Close. All right. So, son of a gun. Who's got 1? Let's get that down. Do you have that answer? Yes? Okay, so you get 3 points. Who's got 2? Who's got 2? Where? Do you have that answer? Okay, that's 2 points. Who's got 3? Who's got 3? No. Who's got 4? Okay, got that answer? X plus 1 squared, see it. That's 1 point. All right, do the switch, and then I'm going to talk while you're doing the switch with the stuff. Okay, here's the point, though. The actual domain of this, whoa, don't hit my podium there. All right, I got assaulted. All right, teaching in public school. All right. So the domain of g of the inverse of g of x right as is for a parabola is all real numbers, but it came from this. So the domain has to be the range from the original, meaning it limits to only graphing this because the graph of this is that red graph I showed you there. That was like the whole big deal of our lesson yesterday, restricting the domain, or when you do a inverse of a square root, you get a quadratic, but with a restriction. All right. So that's really the big point of yesterday's lesson. And then this isn't really affected, but that's true there. Okay. So we got to be careful of that. First hour I did ask, okay, what's the domain and range? Never knew just to flip them, but really just making a point here of what happens. All right, next one. It is don't find the inverse. Tell me the domain and range. Ready, set. This thing screws up all the time. Go. What's the domain and range? And I'm going to leave this up there because this should be quick. Should be quick. What is the domain and range of this? This is a review question, but if you don't know your review question, you can't find or figure out domain and range of inverses. So that's the point of this. Already got my first customer. There you go. Have a good day. 2. People they're doing it on the boards and then rushing to the middle to get a number, and then we check. Oh, she beat you there. Okay. All right. So in you got to be used to this in different ways they could do the answers. And one way they could do this answer is x such that x cannot equal, that's a line straight up, not equal to, what can x equal? What can x equal? 1. So that's a way of writing that. That means it could equal everything but that. Sometimes they say all reals except, so they do the double R thing and then say except -1. You just got to be, or 1, sorry. Just be aware of that. We are doing interval notation every time. So this is all real numbers except 1. And then the problem is this is shifting transformational format of a rational function. Struggling for words here. So this is a vertical asymptote at x equals 1. Remember that, because we have to know this stuff. And then this means down 3. So this would have had a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0, but then it's moved down 3. So it has a horizontal asymptote here. And I think the graph would look like this and like this, behaving to these asymptotes, which means y can never equal -3. So I wanted to cover that all again because we spent a whole bunch of time on that. And it took a long time for all of us to get those rules down. And now we're doing inverses of this. Okay, so did I check the answers yet? No, I didn't. I'm going to leave for a second. Who's got 1? You got 1? You have that? No, who's got 2? Who's got 2? No, who's got 3? Uh-oh, who's got 3? No, who's got 4? Isn't it no across the board? Oh, no. All right, so this group is 3. Who's got 5? 5? 5, do you have it or no? No? 3 points. That's it. Just one group. All right, switch. Okay, so just one group got that. Hurry up on the switch. Grab a marker and find the inverse. Go, 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 go. Grab a marker and find the inverse. So we'll leave this going here. Sorry I had to leave you, but pausing and then unpausing is just not working. It's too tough. Okay, so find the inverse of that. Hey, maybe you can, during this time, try it yourself at home if you were absent. Hey, maybe I'm making this video if you wanted to go through this again, like try it at home on your own. Sometimes in the group thing, you don't get all that you want, like all the information that I've shared. Sorry, I actually did not get ready. I daydreamed. 2. Hopefully we do well on this. First hour did pretty well. Second hour, not so much on this one. But then they did better on the next one. Like it. 2. Okay, like I said, you could be doing this at home. I'm not pausing anymore. It's too much of a pain. I'm gonna hide this now. Okay, waiting. I got 2 groups done. So find the inverse. Understand that domain and range. That didn't go so well. Third hour. We only had one group get that right. Halfway point. What time we got here? 05? This has got to be done at 55. We only have a few more minutes. Or about 10, 15 minutes. Okay, we're done. All right, take a look up here, and then I'm going to go ahead and check the answers. I'm going to leave my headphones here for a minute. Who's got 1? Ambulance, you're gone. You got 2 in their hand. Okay. Okay. So 3 points. We've got 3 in their hand. We got 3. You have that same form. We got the next final 3. And there's so that's the X plus 3. That would be right from that. So we got 4. Sorry, you're gone. You're getting the Samuel. Same thing. This is negative about 2, and you have to work with the down point like to drop a little. We got 5. You're actually close to 5. What do you have here? No, all right, we only got 1 again. So go ahead and grab your marker, switch. I'll talk to the computer. Okay, so switch. That group right there gets 3, correct? And that's it. So that group gets 3 over there. Real quick on this one, I guess I'll do this one real fast and then explain alternate answers. Watch this. Like I say, I'm making this video. I'm getting a lot of absences, but also I've heard people watch these after. And then you could use this as stop the video and do this yourself at home if it was something you would do. But when I say inverse, you say switch X and Y. That's the Samuel's thing, domain array. But I like switch X and Y. That tells you what you have to do mathematically in an equation. Then the very first thing I would do is add 3. Okay, and I do want to do this because of kind of what happens yesterday and then what our notes are going to be today. I'm going to continue this video with our completion of the notes from yesterday. That's why I have to be done at like 55. Then multiply both sides by y minus 1. All right, that's just you gotta know how to do that. And then this becomes y minus 1 here equals a free 3 here. So multiply both sides by y minus 1. On the right side, the y minus 1s cancel. Over here, you do not want to distribute. You have a y minus 1 all by itself. All right, so what I want to do is what? Starts with a D. Divide. Divide by this whole thing. All right, and that's where we get the x plus 3. And then you could see I have y plus 1 by itself. Then I could go ahead and freely add 1. It's actually h. So inverse of h of x equals 3 over x plus 3, and then a big fat plus 1. Now, I do want to cover this. Wait a minute. The computer-generated answer is this. Those are not the same. Well, they actually are. Somehow the computer generator did a double negative in here. I can take this negative that's floating out inside, and I could either put it up at top, or I could put it at the bottom, but then if I did, it'd have to be what? Starts with a D. Distributed. And then if you see me distributing this, then you would see 3 over x plus 3. So those that had 3 over x minus 3, there were 2 of you. You're a little bit off. All right. It's not quite correct. So How do these double negatives happen? It depends on which side you choose to move and shift stuff around. So you should know about alternative possible answers. And then yet again, look at the range, look at the domain of this is the range of the original, because I now cannot plug in -3 for x. And then look at the range is the domain of the original, because that's where the horizontal asymptote is. So this was the connection I was trying to have you make. You know what? I think I'll skip. No, I'll do 4. By the way, the domain and range of 4 is all real numbers because it's a fifth root, which is like a cubic, which ends like this. So just go ahead and find the inverse. Go, go, go. Find the inverse. This one should be fast. This one's a little bit easier. Okay, but we should know from the polynomial game that a fifth power is that kind of n behavior. That's from our previous chapter. So no domain and range issues. So it's all real numbers, and that's why the inverse of this will be all real numbers for domain and range. We're at 43. Really have to end at, oh man, it actually should be 55. 05. Oh, we're in trouble for time. Whoa, we almost had someone tackle somebody else. Full contact math. Oh. Oh, look at you nonchalantly walk up. Nice and calm. Okay, so here's this answer. I expect this one to be pretty good. Fifth root of n plus 2 plus 1 on the outside. Who's got 1? Who's got 1? Do you have that answer? Yes or no? Okay, I got to leave. Okay. Okay, fifth root of n plus 2 plus 1. He got 4. Okay, do you have it? Okay, 1 point. Okay, good. Switch. Okay, so we got our 3, 2, 1s. Go grab your marker, put the points up that won the point. All right, we're running short on time. 44. Oh no, okay, 55, 10 minutes. Okay, no, I'm getting myself all screwed up. All right. I think we have time for 2 more. And I think I only have 2 more left. Good. So maybe what I'll do is this. Let's look at this one. And let's say, okay, first of all, what's the domain? What can't x equal? Let's just put x can't equal. What is it? 3, 2, 1, go. 2. So it's everything but 2. And then what can't y equal? 1. And then when we do the inverse, we'll see a switch on that. Okay, do the inverse. I better get better work on this one because it's just like that one we had before. All right. I fumbled a number. It's me. Oh, my knees bending over trying to pick up the paper I dropped. It's heck to get old. Okay, they're working, and we're already getting somebody coming up. A group taking over here. What are we playing for, by the way? The first prizes of Christmas. That's what we're playing. They even know what that movie is? What movie is that? The First Gift of Christmas. No one knows that movie? What's the first gift of Christmas? And then the character. These kids don't watch movies anymore. Okay, hopefully we get better answers on this one, and this is a better form of that. Let's check the answers. Who's got 1? Got 1. One. All right, switch. Okay, that's what I figured. All right, I figured we'd be better on that. First 3 all 3 were correct. So first 3, all 3 were correct after seeing a couple of questions ago. All right. Okay, I screwed this up all day long. I actually screwed this up first hour, then I caught myself second. The next one I want you to find the domain and range of the next thing I show you, but you must restrict the domain in order to for the function to be invertible. So I want a restricted domain and the range of this. Restricted domain and the range of this. And kudos to my second hour and anyone in first hour that did do that, and my mind wasn't in the right spot. and then come up. This should be a fast one. Restrict the domain, and then find the range of the following. And then throw your marker here. Supposed to be helping Mo and not interacting with other groups. Children today. You're welcome, sir. You guys are, what do you got? You get 2 points? Okay. You guys are moving along. You got 2. You got it right. You guys are moving. 3. Whoa. 4. Nice. Okay, it should be a fast one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. How many points you guys got over there? Wait, you didn't take a thing. Da, 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 da. Okay. All right. So here's the answer, and everyone that has a number only has a chance. So watch up here. What you should think about is the graph. Oh, I should ask you this. A negative x squared, does it face up or down? Well, you already see the picture. What is it? Down. And the vertex is 5, -1. So we should know that the vertex is at 5, -1. So therefore, for the restricted domain, I either have to do one of two things. I have to destroy that part of the graph or destroy this part of the graph. So you had 2 possibilities. More than likely, people destroy this part. So therefore, the restricted domain should be 5 to infinity, or you could have -infinity to 5 if I destroyed the other part. Then the range, well, you did have to know about vertex. The vertex is at, it's at -1, but then it goes down. So it's -infinity to -1. We got some people changing answers over there. All right. Hopefully we're not erasing. All right. So let's check the answers. Who's got 1? Here, who's got 3? You got that answer? Who's got 4? Is this a no for everybody? Who's got 4? By the way, oh my God, I have my brackets in parentheses. I'm going to give it to you. Quote that in the long order. I'm going to give it 3. Who's got 5? You have it right? Okay, now I got to make it team. That is the bracket. Oh, 0 infinity. Okay. All right, switch. Switch. Okay, then hurry up. Find the inverse. Go. Find the inverse. All right. Run. I screwed up. I switched these around because my excuse. I'm trying to do too much at once. That's supposed to be a bracket. My bad, dogs. Grab a marker. Oh, you got 1? Okay, go ahead. Okay, they're working on it. Start to lose my voice. I don't know why, too. Whoa. Another elbow to get a higher number. Okay. All right. This and I didn't get to say this to you, but it's okay if you did, but you didn't really have to distribute or anything like that. And then I'll cover this, but let me look at the answers. Who's got 1? Who got 1? Who got 2? Okay. Turn. You got 3. Okay, you have it? Ball. You've got 4. Who's got 4? On the AP exam, maybe mark that in. No, because I'm confident. Right? Who's got 5? Who got 5? Who got 5? No. You have that answer? You distributed, which is fine, which is good. Didn't we get 3? No, did anyone get 3? Oh, you get 3 points. All right, then who's the winning team? What we got, 8? 9? 8? You guys win. All right, nice. Come on down, huh? I don't know. Check it up there. Is that right? Okay, go back to your seats. Those that won, come on up and get the first gifts of Christmas. Okay, I'm sliding over into the corner, and then we're going to proceed on to our notes. Give me a second. Okay. All right. So all kidding aside, now we're going to get out your note sheet and finish it. And we're at 53, so we do have 12 minutes. I think we're fine. Hurry up on the shopping here, guys. Just grab something and go. All right. Mo, where are you going? Huh? Scrummaging around for the note sheets? Got it. Bo, you were absent yesterday? That's why people weren't screwing around. All right. Now, if you want to look at this again, here's the inverse of that last one. When I say inverse, you say, hey, when I say inverse, you say not outverse. Switch X and Y, and then you solve. So right here, so here's the switching of X and Y. And then the very first thing I would do is add 1 and then multiply by -3 both sides. Now, I lost my squared. Not sure why I did that, because then I would have to square root both sides. Now, listen. Okay, this is the point where that's why I was trying to get you to focus on this. You got lucky if you didn't put plus minus in front of the square rooting. Why we dropped the minus is because of the restricted domain, which restricts the range. All right, so I only want the part that ends up being the half parabola part. Okay, so that's why we have to understand that. If I decided to do -infinity to 5 for the domain, then it would be the minus part that I keep. And that's the big thing here. In their homework, they actually restricted domains. And you had to read it. Which domain did they restrict, the left side or the right? All right. So they actually have the questions worded that way in your homework. All right. And maybe I can reference that real quick. But anyway, many were close. You just had a mathematical error. So I'm going to go to that homework. Sorry, not homework, but I never fill those out. That's weird. And I guess I'll have to delete this because I'm not sure why that was blank. Yeah, that kind of threw me off there. And then we're going to continue the note. So do that. Go to this. I just am weirdly having a hard time finding our notes from yesterday, just third periods. Okay, so what I was going to say is that, let me go to the homework right here. So that's a parabola, but they forced the restriction on you. That's the right side of the graph. Yet on this one, this is the left side of the graph. So they forced that restriction. So to be honest, that's why if you look at the key when I post it, they're going to have the negative square root as the final answer because it's the left side of the parabola that they keep. So I noticed that when someone asked me something in Compass today, or it was early, I think it was an earlier first and second hour, no, I think it was right in here. It was you. Yeah, it was you. All right, perfect. All right, but now let's go back to the notes and finish them. And the reason I stopped here yesterday was A, it was a long day on a Monday, and B, this is a conundrum. This is a little bit tough. Remind yourself of 6, what we had to do for this. Switching X and Y. Just look at this real quick and look at the peach highlighting. When we cross multiplied or multiply both sides by Y plus 6 after switch X and Y, there is only one Y. So therefore, I could have divided by X and then subtracted 6. That was easy. We had 2 of these like this today, except I added like a +1 or something like that, and you had to deal with that. And then the second one, almost everyone got it right. Very good. Here's the difference with this one. I have 2 X's. So when I switch an X and Y, I'm going to have 2 Y's. All right. And I want you to understand that. But before I do that, what's the domain? What can't X equal? 3, 2, 1, go. -4, actually. So let's do that first so that we understand when we switch X and Y and then find the inverse, that's going to be the range, right? And that's the big idea from yesterday. And then what's the range? We got no time for this. This is an old thing. We tried to hammer this in your head forever. Fumble a phone, all right? So what is the range? What can't y equal? 3, 2, 1, go. It's actually 2. What I highlighted there is this has a horizontal asymptote of y equals 2. All right, so therefore that's where the graph's going to approach at the ends but never cross. We're going to leave that like that. You can prove this by typing it on your calculator. There are sometimes a horizontal asymptote can be crossed. We already dealt with all that back in the other chapter. We should know that's a standard what's going on there. All right, so again, a review concept. Okay, but when I say inverse, you say, and I don't care if other teachers don't like it, couldn't care less. When I say switch X and Y, this tells me what to do. This tells me how to get this figured out. And now I want you to grab your highlighter and highlight the problem. There's 2 Y's now. And yes, the next thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides by Y plus 4. I hate when 4s are with Y's. That seems to happen a lot. My Y's and 4s look very similar. When I get the highlighter, it'll stick out. So I'm multiplying both sides by Y plus 4. We're in high level math class. I'm not showing the undo operations literally. And then I do want you to grab your highlighter. Wait a minute. This is different than the other one over here. This is different than number 6. Number 6 only had 1 Y times this X, and I could divide by X. If I divided by X right now, I'd still have Y's on both sides. That is a problem. I need Y equals. I need Y by itself. So now I'm forced to do what I didn't let you do in the last one, which is distribute. Okay, you got to do something. So do something. And then this is 4x. And then this is 2y minus 3. And then highlight the problem again. Wait a minute. I still have y's on both sides. This is an issue, way different than number 6. There's a simple fix. Subtract 2y. So I'm writing this as our next step here. You know what? I'm not going to write it. I'll write it below. Subtract 2y and subtract 4x. You should be able to handle this without having to show undo operations. I move this over here and I move that over there by subtraction in both cases. And now what I've accomplished is I've gotten y's on the same side of the equation. Good FOILers, good factors, good distributors, good factors. Okay, what I'm going to do now is undistribute, which is called what kind of factoring? Starts with a G, not grouping, G, C, F. And now math magically, 2 Y's have turned into 1. This is why we're highlighting every time. We're really highlighting how I accomplished that feat. What's the last thing I'm going to do? Divide by x minus 2. And then we have other things we have to do in this shortened time here, or the time, trying to do too much at once. But now you can see how the domain of this is the range. And the range of this is the domain of the original because of our asymptotes of the new function. All right, but see, I'm running out of time. Even if the bell rings, I'm going to keep going. Third hour if you want to watch this last part. Here's what's true if I'm given 2 functions are inverses of each other. Both, if I find f of the inverse of f of x or the inverse of f of x, this is a composition of functions, I will end up with the letter x. Not a number, Mo. Pay attention. I see you shuffling papers. All right. Not any other variable than x itself. And if this happens in both cases, then you could say the 2 functions I have sitting in front of me are inverses of each other. So I'm going to practically show you what this means, what you need to do. You have to do 2 things. Number 1, you have to evaluate what is f of g of x and see if you get the letter x when you're done. This is it. You have to have this memorized. Math 3ers, I think you did this last year. I know Math 2 honors for sure we did f of g of x. And then we did it this year anyway. So I'm going to grab my highlighter and then remind you what this means. Remember, this just is anyone? Substitution. That's really all f of g of x is. All right. So the name g of x is equal to the function 2 over x minus a big fat 3. And then the next thing is I substitute wherever there's an x in this. Weird. It's only all the way down there. So I replace this x with this. So this looks like 2 over, and then this small little x becomes this weird expression, 2 over x minus 3. And finally, we get to do some algebra with you guys. Finally, we get to teach you some things that you got to remember from grade school. First of all, what happens to the 3s simply? What happens to the 3s? They cancel, become 0. And then what's 2 over 2 over x? That is, no, I'm not going to write that. I'm going to write what that means. 2 over 2 over x, 2 divided by 2 over x means 2 times, anyone? X over 2. And you got to have the ability to show that as work. And then what happens to the 2's, everybody? What happens to the 2's? They cancel. 2 divided by 2 is 1 over 1. And then guess what we can say? Check. That's a check number 1. By the way, if this is a fail and you don't get X, it's over. What do you say? They are not what? Inverses. All right. I know this is brand new for you, but this is something you're going to have memorized. Now you got to do step 2. Check G of f of x. All right. And then, so I'll go ahead and do that. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to grab the highlighter again, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to erase our old highlighting. You don't have that option. Sorry. So you might not be able to kind of do this. So f of x, well, that's this. I didn't erase that. So that means I replace that with g of 2 over x plus 3. And then in this function, the g function, wherever there's an x, I'm putting that in its place. So that becomes 2 over x plus 3 minus a big Godzilla or Dogzilla 3. Again, what does 2 over x plus 3 become? It becomes 2 times what? X plus 3 over 2. So this becomes that. You can go ahead and leave. But what we're going to end up as you're packing up your stuff, you will see the 2's cancel and then the 3's cancel. So this is a check as well. And then what you can say is, for sure, this proves they are inverses of each other. All right. You only have one question in your homework that involves this little math. Okay. All right. Long video because I really tried to tape everything that we were doing in class today, including the game. Oh boy. Pause.